I'm sorry. I didn't know it was a bad thing to save money so you can actually pay for things in cash instead of buying them on credit and getting into debt. My bad. If you're cheap, you've probably been told that it's a bad trade. From one cheap person to another, let me tell you that you're doing the right thing. Our economy is shit right now, and it's been that way for years. Why? Because people live beyond their means. A person who can only afford to live in an apartment goes and buys a house, and then their house goes into foreclosure 6 months later because they can't make their payments. Then another person who can only afford to eat out once a month goes out to eat every single week and then wonders why their credit card's been declined when they go out to eat for the 40th week in a row. But if that same person went out to eat with their friends but realized that they couldn't afford anything on the menu and didn't get anything on that menu and was the only one that didn't eat, then they're being cheap. Look, I'm not saying that there aren't people out there who take it too far. If you loan a coworker $1 for some water a year back and then now you're complaining to that same coworker that you haven't gotten that $1 back for them, then that's taking it too far. But going back to this economy, if you know somebody who can just cut down when times are tough or just doesn't go outside and spend $500 every time they are outside, maybe you should be taking a page out of their book. Now, the reason why I'm talking about all this is because I've been in college for a couple years now and I have no debt. That has something to do with the fact that I go to a school for low tuition, but really it comes down to the fact that I don't have the urge to spend every single time I'm outside. If my friends are eating out, I don't eat with them because I've already eaten at home. I've already ate at home. There's no point to, in my opinion, to go and spend extra money on stuff that I already have at home. If you do the math, you can probably realize that there are a lot of things you can cut back on to save money. For example, let's say when you go to work, you usually go out to eat and you spend $5 each time on average you go, out to lunch. To do the math, 5 days a week times 52 weeks in a year is 260. And then let's take how much that lunch costs. That's $5 times 260, $1,300. Now I don't care if you're a college senior or you're a middle-aged working man, everybody can use their extra $1,300. So, if you're one of those people that spends a lot when they're outside, my advice to you would be to get a journal, write down every single time you go outside and how much you spend, and then look at how much of that stuff you don't actually need and start to cut back there. Because guess what? If you're one of those people that actually spends on average $5 every single time that they're going out to eat, or just in general, if you're outside for 5 minutes, you're spending $5, I'm pretty sure you're spending more than $1,300 on things that you don't really need. And hey, you don't have to take my advice. You can be one of those people that says, oh, well, I don't need to live my life. I'm not going to go and pinch pennies. Well, guess what? When you run out of money, you're going to need a loan. When you're somebody who spends money very easily, you usually have bad credit. And so you'll be charged a high rate of interest from people who actually know how to save their money. And not only will you be in debt to them, but they'll be making a profit off of your stupidity.